So dear all, my name is Marie Zewon JP, and I am a former athlete, a sport journalist, a writer, and a mother of four, which says a lot about my determination and my organization, actually. I know firsthand how sports have positively impacted my life, shaping my personal commitments, journey, and worldviews. And it's an honor for me to be your host during this 10th anniversary. Over the next 36 hours, we will strive to reach new heights, aligning with the motto of smart cities and sport, to inspire and be inspired by the lived experience of the members of these valuable networks. Over the year, the summit has challenged Olympic cities to tackle the issues, but not only Olympic cities, but actually all cities, big or small, worldwide, with or without Olympic ambitions, who faces the challenge of a major sport event or want to use sport as a game changer, addressing urban development, social or ecological issues. Talk about a plot twist, right? So like a coach adjusting its strategy mid-game, we broaden our network to include all cities, from dreaming of Olympic medals to just wanting a top-notch bowling team. Since the first edition, we've covered a range of topics, and of course, our approach hasn't changed all those years. You could say we've kept the same energy as a sprinter to the finish line. So are you ready to take on the challenge with us for the next 10 years? So fasten your seatbelt, because it's going to be a roller coaster of sports. We celebrate this year, in the hot city of the upcoming Summer Games, the magical Paris, the first decade of the Smart City Sports Summit, and it promised to be a historical edition with over 300 participants, and it's quite impressive, so you have to give me some strength, right? And we will have also about 30 speakers. At the top of the list is Mr. Thomas Barr, the president of the IOC, with whom we will have the pleasure of a discussion later. Paris 2024 has placed the Olympic Games under the sign of legacy. Legacy has always been at the heart of the work and discussions of the World Union of Olympic Cities. As always, our moderators and speakers, elected officials, entrepreneurs, and sport industry players will bring their vision and experience in using sports as a lever for social utility, as a pole would, because I'm an ex-athlete, so it's a pole, right? And our toolbox this afternoon will showcase fantastic examples of initiatives and innovations through sport. But before inviting our first guest to the scene, I would like to remind you how to use the special app that we have today so that we can that we can share together. There is no better way than slido.com. You will have all the information behind me to involve you into the conversation. It will bring this conference to life and make it more relevant to all of you. So we will be using slido.com during the entire conference through this platform, and you will be able to ask questions to the people on stage, and we can also ask you some questions to answer. So let's give it a try to see if you are comfortable with all of this. We are going to take 2 minutes to see if it's working, right? So please grab your phones, all of you, and connect to slido.com. Okay. And now you just enter the following code, SMART 2023. SMART 2023 altogether. Should be behind me right here. And now we are ready for a first question. We're going to answer right now to see if it's working. So here are the questions. First of all, this year's summit marks the 10th anniversary. Has this been an inspiring experience so far? You can answer. And I'm pretty sure of the answer, actually. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. So maybe we can have the result of the first question. Did everybody use the application? Do we have the answer? And the second question, yes, we have the answer. Absolutely, yes. Yes, 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 great, yes. Okay, so the first question, it's a relief for me, actually. The second question maybe is a little bit more tricky, but not that much. From the discussion so far, is there something that you have already done in your city? Okay, a lot of people here has been there before. So are they did they do something in their cities? So we're going to see if people have find right inspiration in those summits all around the years. Okay, everybody's tapping on its phone, and we're going to have the result right now, which is a little bit more tricky. And the result is yes, legacy, yes, yes, okay. So that's interesting because we are going to talk about all this afternoon, and maybe you can share your experience with us. The first person I'm going to call on stage now to welcome you all in this 10th anniversary of the Smart City Summit is Sir Grégoire Junot, Mayor of the City of Lausanne, the Olympic capital since 2016, and the President of the World Union of Olympic Cities, which powers the Smart Cities and Sports Summit. Please welcome Mr. Junot.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you to this latest edition of the Smart Cities and Sport Summit. First and foremost, it's a great pleasure to be here in Paris, in this beautiful city of history and culture. With just a few short months until the Summer Olympics, there is a buzz in the air, a growing vibration as the city moves with the rhythm of sport. But this year's event is also quite special, as we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the summit. Over the past 10 years, the Smart Cities and Sport Summit has grown in prominence. Today, as the only international platform on sport dedicated to cities, it has become an unmissable event. The success of this event over the past 10 years demonstrates the ever-growing power of sport as a lever for public policy in cities. This is true in a wide range of fields, from education and tourism to gender equality and public health. Over the past 10 years, we have constantly explored many different topics, enriching our experiences, sharing our difficulties and successes, and drawing inspiration from best practices. As we gather to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the network, I would like to thank Mélanie Duparc, Secretary General and Director of the World Union of Olympic Cities and Director of the Smart Cities and Sports Summit. Mélanie has been the driving force behind the growth and success of this network for the past 10 years. With energy and optimism, she has led this network to emerge as a unique platform for cities and sport, one when diversity, collaborative spirit, and inspiration are guiding principles. Thank you to you and your team for bringing all of us together every year for the summit. Thank you very much. We have also expanded the network by holding the summit abroad every other year. I would like to thank the cities of Montreal, Tokyo, and Copenhagen, whose representatives are with us today, for hosting us. This has helped us to grow the network and gain international recognition. And once again, many thanks to the city of Paris for hosting us this year. This year's summit is devoted to major sporting events and their roles as catalysts for urban transformation. We'll be talking about reuse, job creation, social inclusion, the circular economy, and urban planning. How can we design an event that is not foreign to the fabric of the city? Sport events should be integral contributors to a city's development, mobilizing the social community and creating greater prosperity and social cohesion. There are the issues that concern all cities wishing to organize major sporting events today. Addressing them properly and providing the right answer should enable us to unite the population and maximize the benefits for the urban community. To conclude, I would like to acknowledge some of African cities that are here with us today. I am thinking of Dakar, which will host the first Youth Olympic Games on the African continent in 2026, Kinshasa, which hosted the Francophonie Games last summer, and Abidjan. This expansion of our network to cities in the south is a real enrichment that also reminds us that major sporting events do indeed concern the entire planet, even if the social and economic realities are sometimes different. Finally, I would like to thank the International Olympic Committee. Their support reinforces our activities for both the World Union of Olympic Cities and the Smart Cities and Sport Summit. We are extremely honored to be welcoming back President Bach later this morning as a keynote speaker for a dialogue and Q&A session. It seems that his participation is becoming a tradition. It is a tradition that we appreciate very much, as it creates momentum for synergies between cities interested in sport as a change maker and the IOC, a model in this field. I would like to also thank Marie Salois, who is here in behalf of the IOC. The collaboration with the IOC has been nothing short of excellent. I thank you for your attention and wish you an excellent summit. I hope it will be an opportunity for interesting, fruitful, and inspiring exchanges. I also hope you will be able to find the time to enjoy the city of Paris. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayer. And now I would like to welcome to the floor Mr. Pierre Rabadon, Deputy Mayor in charge of Sport, Olympic and Paralympic Games in Paris, and former professional rugby player. Pierre Rabadon is an ardent advocate of ecological transition, and he has just been elected President of Paris Tourist and Convention Bureau, which is Paris Je t'aime.
Thank you, Maryse. I don't know if I'm too high. Maybe I will push it up like that. It's better. I need to check with my team to have a higher. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gregor Junot. Thank you, the Mayor of Lausanne, President of UMVO. Dear friend, I see a large part of you yesterday, but I'm really happy to be in front of you today, people from everywhere in the world, and we are really happy to having this time here in Paris for the 10th anniversary of the Smart Cities and Sport Summits. It's a truly honor to stand before you today for this Smart Cities and Sport Summit, a gathering that symbolizes the convergence of innovation, urban development, and the transformative power of sports. We are at a pivotal moment in history. The vision of more sustainable and inclusive city is often pitted against the organization of international sporting events. Today, we gather not only as sports enthusiasts, but also, I hope, to discuss and demonstrate a new way of organizing major, even international sporting. First and foremost, the Olympics and Paralympic Games coming in Paris in a couple of days. From the outset of Paris' bid to host the game, we clearly stated our objective to adopt a new approach, which I could sum up as follows: games sober, responsible, and useful for Paris. We consulted residents and local organizations to find out what kind of Olympic and Paralympic Games they would like to see in Paris and what they expected for the city. From this consultation, we built a program named Olympic Transformation with 20 measures to transform our cities and give Parisians a legacy that will last many years. We have tried to set an exemplary standard. Paris 2024 will not only be a wonderful time of festivities and celebration of human achievement in sports, but also a concrete example of how the Olympic and Paralympic Games can accelerate the public policies targeted by cities. And that by changing habits, that have existed will significantly reduce the carbon footprint of this event. First of all, construct new sports venue only when it's useful, when it's a local necessity. 95% of the infrastructure of Paris 2024 already exists or will be temporary during the Games. New building always met the needs of the area in which they are built. For example, the Olympic Aquatic Center in Seine-Saint-Denis, an area with a few swimming pools and backlog of children learning to swim. Another example, the new arena in the north of Paris, with a capacity not previously available in Paris venues, and an area undergoing major event renewal. And many renovations of existing venues, such as the Piscine Valeret in the north of Paris, which hosted the Games in 1924. Second priority, using the game to accelerate our environmental transition. We are all deeply concerned about the consequences of the climate change. In Paris, we have decided to use the Games to change the mind and habits of both athletes and spectators. Competition venues will be located within a 10 kilometers radius at the Athletes Village with a maximum travel of 30 minutes. We encourage spectators to use environmentally friendly transport such as public transport or bicycle. We are building many cycle paths. This change will also benefit Parisians after Games. Finally, single plastic use are also a target. Our aim is to halve this figure compared to previous edition. And we are already told the organizer of the future running and sporting event in Paris, they won't go back on our words. And the importance of the opening up to local community and their concern. If we want our citizens to remain enthusiastic about welcoming the Games to the city, they must be given the opportunity to join the celebrations. We are committed to gender equality in sports. These Olympic Games will be the first gender equal games in history with an equal number of female and male athletes. We are committing to promoting the Olympic and Paralympic Games with equal attention and motivation. The Paralympic Games will be held in many of the same historic venues as the Olympic Games. The opening ceremony will take place in the heart of the city with hundreds of thousands of people who will be able to watch the ceremony from the banks of the Seine. A program of festivity throughout the city, accessible without paid tickets, with the events broadcast on the big screen, sports activities for all, cultural events close to the residents and open to all tourists and spectators during the Games. At the heart of this transformation is the recognition of the Games are not just a temporary spectacle, but a legacy that can shape the urban landscape for generations to come. The summit provides us with a platform to exchange ideas, forge partnership, and work together. Thank you for being part of these exciting journeys, and let us inspire each other to tackle the challenges of the 21st centuries, whether the environment or gender equality or inclusivity, through the unifying power of sports. Final word, I would like to thank all the teams organizing this day, and thank you, Maryse, for being here. And I hope you the best day and enjoy your time in Paris. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.